You're listening to the WTIM morning show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai. And Heartland Casa, the local organization here that has recently expanded to Taylorville, has got a busy calendar coming up with their ice cream social, their new advocate trainings, and a lot of other stuff going on. And here to talk about all of that and much more is the executive director of Blaine Smith. Blaine, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, it is good to have you in this morning. And let's get right into it, because you actually were supposed to have the ice cream social tonight.
Yes.
But because of the severe weather in the area, it sounds like that's been postponed. When should folks now plan for it?
Yes. So we are looking at doing next Monday. You can check our Facebook page, our website, iheartcasa.org. But we are working right now diligently this morning in rescheduling from today to next Monday.
Okay, so next Monday, and so information's going to come out. Where can folks find that?
Yeah, like I said, our Facebook page, it's Heartland Casa. You can find us on there, or you can go to iheartcasa.org. And it's an appreciation event for all of the advocates and the volunteers that we have to be able to come out and just have some fun and get to know each other and talk about what it is to be a CASA.
Yeah, and and I know it's really important work you folks do to advocate.
I'm weatherology meteorologist Derek Height with a significant weather update. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 10 a.m. this morning for Schuyler, Morgan, Menard, Scott, Cass, Fulton, Sangamon, and Mason counties. This cluster of storms has the potential for both large hail and strong straight-line winds. Pea-sized hail and winds up to 70 miles an hour are likely as it moves east at around 50 miles an hour. Stay tuned for additional updates. I'm meteorologist Derek Height.
You're listening to the WTIM morning show on your information station. And now that weatherology update is done, which of course explains what you were talking about earlier, Blaine. We were just talking about the ice cream social.
Yeah.
And so we've got that coming up now. You folks also just recently put out the schedule for the CASA Advocate trainings.
We did.
And you got some different regions involved. Talk a little bit about that.
So we are very ambitious right now. We have 5 new trainings starting between now and June. And our goal is to get at least 10 in the next coming month of new advocates, and then try to keep 5 going, and get to at least 60 by the end of next fiscal year. But yeah, we have 2 coming up in Christian County. We have a daytime and an evening class starting May 18th for the evening and May 19th for the daytime class. And then we have some Moultrie County classes starting in June. So a daytime and evening there as well. And then we typically have our normal Macon County one in May anyway, and that starts May 7th.
Okay, so you've got all these trainings coming up. Talk about kind of what it's like. Obviously, don't give too much away, because I know it's meant for the folks who are doing the training. But what can folks expect?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do. People get a little bit nervous when we say it's a 30-hour training, but we want to make sure that we have the right people in front of the judges and with these kids to be able to advocate for their best interest. And in that 30-hour training, it's broken down into multiple classes, and very flexible. So we will go around your schedule, whatever you need. But in there, you'll learn about the system. You'll learn about some trauma of what caused a child to come into care, and how to best navigate that so that you don't feel completely alone and nervous about that. And we have advocate supervisors that will walk alongside you through your journey as an advocate, just like we ask you to do for the kids that we serve.
Yeah, and it sounds like I think the way I think about it, right? So you have kids who have gone through really, really difficult situations. The advocate obviously wants to help, but in most cases cannot directly relate to that. So, it sounds like just kind of talking that through at first is really important.
Yeah. We have our first class being sworn in here in Christian County, and I got to teach one of those classes. You meet so many of my staff when you do this. But the people here in Christian County have been so welcoming, and the questions that they have, and the heart that I have seen that they want to help these kids, it's amazing. And that's what it is. We are doing our best to prepare you the best we can for any situation. And if you have any questions or any concerns, you can always have one of us there to help you along the way.
Yeah, and I believe that connection with with the Heartland Casa staff, like you folks, is important, because you know what it's about, and then you're trying to train some folks as well. So you say it's a 30-hour training. I've got some of the dates in front of me. It looks like there are 3-hour sessions, but I don't think that's 10 of them. So where does the rest of the time?
Yeah. So we do some court observation in part of that. And then there's some ongoing training after that you will do. It's kind of model training. Like, you'll be assigned to an advocate supervisor. They'll be with you for a few months till you're comfortable. They'll talk you through documentation, court reports, that court report is pretty big. People get a little bit nervous, but we are there every step of the way, because we talk right to the judge. That report is the information that you want that judge to know when you're advocating for the best interest of that child. One of our biggest things is we are asking you to be a voice for that child. You're that connection. You're that piece that allows that child to get to that judge and say, here is where I am, and this is what I need.
Yeah, and again, that just speaks to the importance of the work that you folks do and the work that the advocates do. Who can become an advocate?
Anybody. You have to be 21 years of age to be an advocate. You have to pass a background check. And our biggest thing is you have to want to help the kids in your community. You will have to have that heart for them. We have volunteers who are going to stick with these kids from the beginning to the end of their foster care journey. And that is huge. And in a huge piece of consistency for these kids going through such a traumatic situation. That one person can seriously be that change. My staff and I came back from a CASA conference, and we got to talk to people who've gone through the system, who've had those advocates, who are now going and talking about that and what that was like for them and how their life changed because they had a mentor or that one CASA person who was there through that. And you can either be a statistic or you can be a success story. And sometimes that CASA is what makes that difference.
And I love how you put it there at the end, a statistic or success story. It's again, just speaks to the value of the work that you folks do. Talk about kind of the caseload in the counties that you folks serve, and how much you expect that all of these trainings that you just went through earlier with us will hopefully kind of defray some of that.
Sure. So when we ask volunteers to take on a case, that is typically one child. Yeah. And if they want to take on 2 children, siblings, that's okay if there are more. But again, we do have advocate supervisors, people on staff who are there to help and step up as well when we don't have a volunteer to do so. We allow volunteers after a long period of time to take more than one case. But that takes some time, that takes some experience. We've had multiple people stick with it for years and have had multiple different cases, and sometimes at the same time because they want that. But that's up to them.
Yeah. No, that's and I can see how you'd want to wait a little bit of time, make sure they don't bite off more they can chew, and make sure that everything is going all right. For starting out. Anything you want to share about the upcoming trainings before we move on?
No, if you have any questions, you can contact myself, Blaine Smith. It's bsmith@iheartcasa.org, or you can contact Lori McDaniel, L. McDaniel at iheartcasa.org, or give us a call, 217-428-8424. We are available anytime.
Plenty of ways to reach out there. You were talking about a CASA conference. So is this with like the other chapters in Central Illinois? Beyond that, what was that like?
Yeah, so we are part of Illinois CASA. So we are our own entity, our own agency, and we service 4 counties. But we do have a state agency, Illinois CASA, and they have an annual conference that we get to attend. But then there's also the national organization. And one of the really cool things with that is we get to open up to more grants and different things by being part of those organizations. And one of the grants that we received is a national grant that is allowing us to put more time and effort into recruitment, especially here in Christian and then Moultrie County as well. So we are going to take that grant and do everything that we can to get us out there and say, hey, these are the number of kids we have. These are the number of volunteers we need. So.
Yeah, and it sounded like I was talking with another one of your Heartland CASA folks a couple days ago, and it sounds like that's a big caseload. So yeah, we'll see what you folks are able to do with that. I'm excited to hear how it turns out. I'm talking right now with Blaine Smith, Executive Director of Heartland CASA. Let's take a break because when we come back, we have a couple exciting things coming up to talk about with you, and that's coming up right here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Imagine if you could talk to your nurse like she was your best friend, knowing she truly listened and was invested in your care. I'm Ashley Milberg, a family medicine nurse, and at SIU Medicine, that's exactly what we believe all our patients deserve from their nurse, a trusted confidant and guide. With the latest medical expertise and advanced technology, our medical team champions your healthcare like no one else can. With SIU Medicine, you'll always have an advocate and confidant on your healthcare journey.
Find out all the great things happening in the Pana area on the WTIM Pana Morning Show, Tuesdays from 8:40 till 10. You'll hear interviews with Pana area community, nonprofit, and business leaders each week. The WTIM Pana Morning Show is brought to you by these sponsors.
Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, and Okanee Chop Shop.
Looking for a comfortable lifestyle in a small community? Rolling Meadows Senior Living in Taylorville is now accepting applications for residency. They offer seniors 62 and older a smoke-free facility with round-the-clock maintenance, controlled access, large kitchens with full-size appliances, on-site laundry, Wi-Fi in common areas, and located close to shopping and dining. Call 217-287-2450 to schedule an appointment. Rolling Meadows is sponsored by Lutheran Social Services of Illinois and funded through U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and Federal Home Bank of Chicago. Rolling Meadows is an equal housing opportunity provider.
Of the 2024 construction projects by Christian County businesses, those businesses saved an estimated $370,000 in sales tax by utilizing the county's enterprise zone. Through the efforts of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation over the past 20-plus years to establish and grow the county's enterprise zone, new and existing businesses in the county can save significantly in sales taxes. Find out how they can help your business by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. The Christian County Economic Development Corporation is moving Christian County forward.
Springfield Clinic Taylorville's care team is growing. Here's Dr. Pavi Gill with Springfield Clinic Taylorville.
Springfield Clinic Taylorville is excited to welcome nurse practitioner Morgan Winans to the team. She is collaborating with Dr. Roger McClintock in internal medicine and pediatrics and is welcoming new patients now.
Call Springfield Clinic Taylorville today at 217-287-8855 to schedule your appointment now.
Nicole Patrick here, your local country financial representative at 1305 West Bresser in Taylorville. I'm proud to recognize the Lady Tornado student athletes that represent our community by being the exclusive sponsor of the ILSportswire.com Taylorville Lady Tornadoes Player of the Game this school year. At the end of each game, a Lady Tornado will be selected to receive a certificate for being named our Player of the Game, and they'll be featured in a highlighted reel on the ILSportswire.com social media platforms. Best of luck to all the girls' teams this season, and go Lady Tornadoes!
WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kama, and I'm talking right now with Blaine Smith, Executive Director of Heartland CASA. We talked in the first segment about some upcoming training programs that they're going to have for the advocates who help them accomplish their mission. And coming up, we've got Foster Parent Appreciation Day, which you folks are getting in on, and talk about how.
Yeah, so I am partnering with DCFS this year, and we're doing a foster parent appreciation event for the licensed and fictive kin foster placements that we are serving. And we get to do that June 6th. We've partnered with Life Foursquare Church in Decatur, and they're going to provide a meal. We're going to have some ongoing education, and some vendors that we're just going to have different things that we can just say thank you, because becoming a foster parent is a huge deal. And they are, kind of our next line of defense for these kids. They're being placed in their homes. They're having to learn how to take care of kids with trauma, just similarly to taking care of a typically developing child.
Yeah. So that's great that you folks are doing that, and that foster parents do what they do. Hence, what you folks are doing for Foster Parent Appreciation Day. And you said June 6th for that?
It is June
Okay.
6th. We're going to do a breakfast kind of lunch type thing, 10 to 1 in Decatur. And all of our foster parents who are part of our cases will get an invitation. And if you have questions about either being an advocate or a foster parent, you can reach out to us.
A lot of ways to make an impact in the lives of young folks who need it. So I love to hear that. And what you're doing for Foster Parent Appreciation Day. Some other news that I wanted to make sure we covered in the show. We got a swearing in coming up in a couple days. Talk about that.
Yes, I am so excited. This is our very first swearing in here in Christian County that we have our volunteer classes coming. We have 12 people, including a couple of staff members, being sworn into Christian County. And it's such an honor and privilege to be back and doing this. Like I mentioned earlier, I got to teach one of the classes, and the questions and the heart that is there are just, it's inspiring. It really is. And then I'm going to mention this because that led me, teaching that class and having that class led me to speak at the retired teachers event that they have here in Christian County too. And that was just so cool to be able to connect. And that is kind of a great demographic of people. Retired teachers are amazing advocates. You've done that your entire life, noticing what children need. And now to be able to have a focus on one rather than 20, it's super cool. And I mentioned this as a former Christian County native. I got to see like my first grade teacher and everything. So, I mean, it was super cool, and I'm just so excited. And the swearing in is going to be, it's just going to be a great moment. And it's the beginning of something new here. So that's just super cool. And we'll get to eat some Angelo's breakfast afterwards. So
awesome. No, that is lovely to hear. And yeah, just getting retired teachers involved, I think that would be a really good group to kind of turn to kind of pitch what it is you folks do, what they can do, because, I would imagine they can do it really well. So the swearing in, my voice getting out there. Yep. Did you mention the dates? It
is Wednesday, the 29th, and it is in the morning. We have to be there at 8:45, and we'll have breakfast after the swearing in. We're super excited. Like I said, we have 12 people coming, and it's just a big deal, that we had about 100 children in care here in Christian County, and we now have 12 new advocates. So that's a beginning.
No, that is a beginning. And this is happening at the Christian County Courthouse, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's a good place to swear folks in. So,
yes.
Yeah. So, no, that is great. So that swearing in happening in just a couple days, 2 days from today. So, I'm really happy about that. I'll tell you what, we've got about 90 seconds left. Sure. Was there anything else you want to highlight about anything that Heartland CASA is involved in?
Yeah. So I'm just going to reiterate, like we do the foster parent appreciation. I do want you to know that CASA is not foster parent. We try to make that distinction. That doesn't mean we do not appreciate and show our appreciation to foster parents. We are asking the community to step up. You don't have to take a child into your home. That's not what we're doing. We are asking you to meet that child where they are and be that consistent piece so that they have some safety and consistency through this journey.
Yeah, no, that's what it's about with you folks at Heartland CASA. You've got those trainings coming up as well. Could you give the dates again?
Yes. And you have them. Let me. They're all starting in May and June. We have 5. There are the 2 starting in May, 18th and 19th in Christian County.
Okay, so you've got that coming up, and then do you folks have a website folks can get information?
Yes, it is iheartcasa.org.
All right, so iheartcasa.org, and yeah, this is some great work that you folks do. Very very impactful, and I know you'd mentioned there's nationwide presence of organizations like this. This is actually the first of of its kind that I had heard of, and I'd lived
Oh,
in a
wow.
couple places around the country. So I'm a little bit surprised, but still good to hear about what you folks do. Blaine Smith, Executive Director of Heartland CASA. Blaine, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for listening to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The suspect in the latest assassination